Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in on this wonderful, beautiful day that I'm having here in Florida. Uh, Today, I've got a special guest. You guys know who she is. Without further ado, alongside me, Jan. Jan from New York City saves money. Thank you, Janet, for being aboard. Appreciate
Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to discuss old or classic household remedies that we have around the house instead of having to go out and pay the money to get some type of a med or things like that. We just use what's readily available at home to help us out. So, Jan, do you happen to have any home remedies that you know of that you would like to share with all of us?
Sure. First of all, Steve, of course, I'd like to thank you once again for having me on your Saturday afternoon chat. It's always a pleasure to be on your chat. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. And when Steve invited me on to talk about household remedies that have worked, this is super exciting. And being a frugal channel that I have, I love talking about this stuff because 99% of the time, we have these items already existing in our homes or apartments. And if you don't, you could get them very cheaply. So I'm going to deep dive into a number of things that have worked for me. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what has worked for me. Okay. Maybe it's worked for you too. Okay, now did you ever have like a dry cough in the winter? Like the air is so dry, too much steam heat, radiator heat, winter heat type thing from indoors. Well, that could dry out your nasal passages and your throat. You get this like little funny tickle cough. This remedy has worked for me. All you need is boiling water and about a teaspoon of regular salt. You boil the water. Boil a pot of water, put the salt in it. It's sort of like reminiscent of a saline solution, like ocean air. And this mist comes up. You don't have to put your head over it. You just put it on in your kitchen, hang out in your kitchen, shut it off after the water's boiling, right? Shut it off. And that steam permeates your kitchen. And if you're sitting in there, you will notice it has worked for me every single time. It tends to calm down that tickle. You're not eating anything to do it. You're not drinking anything to do it. All you're doing is boiling the water. And if you prefer, once it starts boiling, you could also roll it down to it like a simmer with that salt in it. That salty air that you're reproducing just seems to calm it down. So that definitely has worked for me. And if you actually have a cold, there's a lot to be said for homemade chicken soup. This is why I even did a video about this, Steve. Maybe you might remember it, and anybody watching. And it's about when you feel good, that's the time to prepare for when you're feeling not so good. So if you have made, like on better days when you're well, of real chicken soup from scratch, including the celery and the onions and the carrots, the traditional chicken soup, take that as an opportunity to put away and to freeze some for the future. Actual homemade chicken soup for those days when you are not feeling well, when you are under the weather. It works. Don't ask me why. I don't know if it's the combination of those veggies. I don't know if it's the steam, whatever. For some reason, how many people can relate to feeling a little better or a lot better after a helping of chicken soup? Seriously. All natural here. Now, this happened to me recently. I had brushed and flossed my teeth too aggressively. I did. And as a result, I had like a little bit of an inflammation from that because it happened right after I did it on my gum. I said, oh, this is annoying me. So I remembered what my mother used to do years ago. Bless her heart. It's not here anymore. So I took warm water and I took about a quarter to a half teaspoon, again, salt. I rinsed my mouth with this. I rinsed my mouth. Within less than an hour, that inflammation, that feeling was gone. No discomfort inflammation down. Something about that mixture helps. Again, worked for me. Oh, tummy upsets. I shared this on a video, and this really works for me. You have to have tea in the house, whatever your favorite tea is. And for me, it's just the classic black tea with milk in it, and or this helps me, like maybe a teaspoon of sugar or honey, either one. I sip that slowly, and for me, tummy ache gone. Works for me. Another thing, now this, and they sell the knockoff product of this product. And no, this is not a sponsored ad for Vicks Vapor Rub. But if you have to have Vicks Vapor Rub or its comparable one that you could get at the dollar store, because effectively it's the same thing. I used to like rub this on my, chest if I had a little chest cold or a little nasal congestion. It does wonders for a song. And what my mom used to do when we were kids, she used to take like an old beat up pot, because she knew was the difference for using it. She used to like make a little bit of a mixture of boiling water and a little bit of that vapor rub. She would put in that water, boil the water, shut off the stove right away, and let that scent from that Vicks permeate the air. And that also seems to calm down coughs and stuff. These are all very inexpensive, easy things to do without fancy equipment. Another thing, this is cute. Like if you ever want to take, as they used to do in the old days, a milk bath, you could do that with just a little bit of powdered milk. Yes, just take a little bit of powdered milk and it softens your water. You could enter some of your favorite essential oil drops, maybe a drop or two of the lavender. Very relaxing, very soothing, very inexpensive in my opinion. And speaking of milk, now I'm not a milk drinker per se, but I do like it in like with little chocolate in it. Then I'll have it. That's a different story. But if you can't sleep at night, you probably know this one because it's been around for like forever. And why has it been around forever? Because it works. A little bit of warm milk. If you can't sleep, take a little bit of that. And if you don't like the taste of milk, doctor it up, put a pinch of cocoa powder or something in there. And for some reason, I think it has to do with vitamin K. Once the milk is heated, the vitamin K is released and it calms things down. So that's in my bag of tricks for now, Steve. Have you tried any of these yourself?
Let's see. Yeah, I have. Let me see. So what I need to do, let's see here. I need to bring myself.
Double layout. Double layout. Well, anyway, Steve is trying to bring himself back into the picture. And of course, an unexpected phone call is ringing, of which I will totally ignore. And that phone never rings, which is pretty funny.
There I am. Okay.
So here comes Steve. I have no idea who's ringing this line. Oh, my word. What nerve ringing my phone in the middle of the show. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about the interrupt, but that's life.
I'm not sure about milk having vitamin K in it. I'll tell you where I come from with that. Vitamin K is usually found in a lot of your leafy green vegetables like turnips, mustard greens, spinach, kale. And you have to be careful with vitamin K because it's also a blood thickener, in case you didn't know.
No, this is what I was told, that when you heat up the milk, that could have changed since what your knowledge, but this is what I was told back in the day, some release of, I don't know about like how much is released, and I don't have verifiable fact on it, but I do know this, a lot of people do fall asleep from heated up milk.
I'll tell you something else. You mentioned about softening water. This is a trick that does work with me. You do not have to buy Bragg's brand apple cider vinegar. If you want to pay the money out and get the better product, nothing wrong with that. Go to the store and get a bottle of White House apple cider vinegar. That's what I always used. If you want to take a bath, get about a half a cup, 2/3 of a cup, and put that in your bath water. It'll soften the water.
Yes.
It's great for the skin.
Yes.
Beautiful thing. It also helps with doing your laundry.
Yes, it does.
Um, there's so many different things. You happen to mention about hot tea. My big thing years ago, my mom instilled it in me. Whenever I had a messed up stomach or wasn't feeling well, or if I just wanted to use it as a sedative, I would always do chamomile tea with honey. That was one of my
Very soothing. Yes.
that's one of my big teas that I like. It's also an anti-inflammatory if you do the research. Another one, if you've got a messed up stomach, I've actually got a couple. One is actually pretty common. You get you a bottle of like seltzer water and drink that. That'll usually straighten you out. Or this is one my mom used to do. She would take a cup measure of water, put it in a saucepan, a little piece of lemon, and she put a small bay leaf in there and bring it to a boil. Then she would take that, pour it back into the mug or cup, and add a little bit of honey or sugar, and you would drink it. It has a great taste. It tastes really good. But be advised, everyone, it is a thing that works. You're either going to have two results, and hopefully use your imagination and you know where I'm going with this. You either had a northbound end reaction or a southbound end reaction. I'm not going to say any more than that. Every time I always drank that, I always got the southbound effect, which personally I would rather go that route because I never have been a fan of upchucking. That's the norm.
Oh, no.
So
Yes.
that's another
Well,
one.
I could understand that you'd prefer that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the baking soda and the water and acid. I never. No, that's always been a.
Yeah, that's
For those,
tough.
for those that like it, more power to you. I never been a fan of it.
Notice I didn't mention it in my bag of tricks there.
Right, I did. Another good one, been around for years. I'm sure many know ginger ale.
Oh, yes. My mom believed in it, and it helped her a lot.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
she had tough medications, like she'd maybe have a glass of that or something, it would help her out.
Well, ginger in general is a phenomenal thing. It's also good for the immune. If you're sick, ginger is a wonderful product. Ginger is also an anti-inflammatory. And here's one for I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't go to the gym. I don't know, anybody that's got inflamed muscles, from exercising. And ginger tea is also highly recommended for people that do weight training and the gym type, muscle, because it is an anti-inflammatory as well. I believe it's the second next to turmeric. I think turmeric is number one, and then chamomile being the third of the anti-inflammatories. But
it's amazing, though. I mean, these things are practically under our face all the time. Most of the time, don't have to go out and buy anything. It's usually just sitting in our homes and apartments, which is great. Oh, I forgot to mention one more from the bag of tricks.
What?
Okay. This is years ago. I was working at my stove and on the phone rang. I got distracted. I touched without using my oven mitt or, whatever pot holder. And I burned my right on my right wrist. Oh, it was so painful. I mean, not serious burn, have to run to a hospital type thing, but a minor burn. My mother said, "Hurry up, go put Vaseline on it." I did not know that took the sting out of it. For me, Janet, within less than 3 minutes, the sting was gone. Please remember that it really does help.
I never thought about the Vaseline. I'll tell you another one that works good if you have burns, if you can get your hands on it, aloe vera. That's another good one.
Yes, very good stuff.
Yeah. So, you just have so many different things, around your home that is readily available that people used to rely on years ago. Like I said, I've said it many times before. It even goes back before this, but I'll focus on this particular time. That's why I've always been a lover and a fan of, the 1950s. I also like the 1940s as well, because, back then everything was done more home oriented.
True.
Not so much going out to the store, go out to the store, go to the pharmacy, go to the pharmacy. No, you relied on what you had at home to, to help you out. So,
You know what I want to mention? At the Dollar Tree type stores, you don't have to pay full price for petroleum jelly, like I just mentioned the brand name, because that brand name one here in New York could be maybe close to $4. You could get a similar exactly product of the petroleum jelly like that for like $1.25. You could
yeah.
get the knockoff Vapor Rub too. Sorry, Steve, what were you going to say?
No, the only thing I was going to mention about the Vaseline is I used it coming up years ago. My dad said, Steve, I don't get them so much now, but like a cold sore or blister on my lips. Vaseline is also good if you dab it on that.
There you go.
In case you don't have any chapstick. Or another one that is an over-the-counter product that you can use for fever, blisters, and cold sores is something called Camphofenique, which is a great thing. It dries it out.
Yes.
But Vaseline is also a good thing. It keeps it, lubricated and moist. That doesn't. So I did that years ago, but I don't get that too much. Oh, I thought of a great one. I just happened to think of a good trick. If you happen to be ill or sick or not feeling well, even though it is a thirst quencher, make sure you have some Gatorade or Powerade, things like that on hand.
Very true. Good one, Steve.
That's another one that'll keep you from getting blisters too, because if you drink that, when you get ill or a cold, or you dehydrate.
Right.
So you have to find a way to put that back in your system. Another one, coming back to over-the-counter fermented wonderful product, is called Emergency.
Oh, I love that one.
I did a product review on it last year.
Yes.
I can always get the video for that. If any of you that want to watch it, I can always link it into the description, and I can pin it in the comments. That way you guys, if you want to revert back, because I did a small little product review on it, that's a wonderful thing. And that's got electrolytes and minerals in it, just like the Gatorade it does, but without all the sugar and all the, the things that are, the colors that's in the Gatorade, because all you do with that is mix it with your favorite juice or mix it in water. What I usually do is I get a 16.9 ounce bottle of water, your normal bottled water, drink about half of it, and then put one in it. I try to keep my vitamin C intake between 1,000 and 15. You don't want to go too over on the vitamin C, because all your body's going to do is kick out what it doesn't use.
That's true. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, Janet, I appreciate you coming aboard with me this afternoon. And
thank you so much for having me. And I know others have their own unique tips too to enter in your comment section below.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, definitely leave. If you want to mention anything, definitely feel free to, comment down below. I'd love to, and I'll get back to you in some form, shape. I'll acknowledge that I saw it. But yeah. So yeah, with times like these, with things and prices going up, rely on what you have at home.
Tried and true. They have absolutely everything I mentioned totally worked for me. Will it work for you? I can't guarantee it. But I could tell you it absolutely did work for me and for a song. And then it's more of a natural approach to stuff.
Right. All right, everybody. Be on the lookout. As you know, my normal Recipe Tuesday every morning. I've got a really nice budget-friendly dessert I think you guys are really going to like. And when I saw it, I knew that I just had to put something up about. I have it all set up, but I knew I had to make a video about it to share it with you guys. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, I hope everybody has a great remainder of your day. Hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Tuesday. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.